After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
Elite Performance Industries Speedweek rumbles on as we tank to Volusia Speedway Park once more with some of iRacing's loudest race cars on the sim. Big block mods are on the card for 40 laps under the lights, and it all begins now. Hi, welcome to Pit Stop TV for virtual, or it's not virtual, but yeah, I guess virtual EPI Speed Week, continuing on the virtual Fallujah Speedway Park. I'm Andrew Cardinal the 4th with Emerson Arden alongside. We're back in Barberville tonight, Emerson, and we are set for an exciting show on dirt this evening. Big block mods, a fast half mile here at Fallujah. Times are already dropping into the mid-16s. We're going to see some fast racing.
Absolutely. We've got some steamers out there on the track tonight. We were given the joy to some great racing last night with the midgets and the legends, but tonight we got these big, bad, and very powerful big block modifieds. It's going to be a great night tonight here at Volusia.
And already you can hear just how loud those cars are out on the track. They're rather loud and unruly. But let's talk about Volusia Speedway Park here in the virtual Barberville, Florida. Of course, the seat of pretty much the beginning of dirt racing across the United States. Hosts Board of Outlaws dirt car racing in January and February, and just kind of kicks off the year of dirt racing, really for most national divisions, whether it's super late models, pro late models, limited late models, any kind of sprint car, big block modifieds, UMP modifieds, what have you. It usually kind of starts right here at Volusia Speedway Park, and we're ending the year actually here at Volusia with EPI for Week 13 on iRacing. The fastest lap that we have in a big block here was set by Devin Morgan at a 16.360, and these guys are starting to get close. Michael Hackett getting down to a 16.5, so they're definitely getting quick here in just practice for the big block race tonight. 40 laps, as I mentioned, and boy, these guys they're having some fun here in practice.
Absolutely. I thought we were gonna get some flyers on the fresh track, but we are really finding that sweet spot right now where these drivers are able to run the preferred line around here. They are setting We're down to 16.5s of Hackett and Kemp and Yorker, and we just continue to see these drivers get closer and closer. The time's very competitive and should be a very exciting race.
There's a look at Matt Yorker, conveniently and fittingly out of New York. Andrew Clark is here as well in his number 20. There's Dylan Hauser in car number 11. Chance Carr in the pit lane in car 2. Marshall Jacobs here in car 22. A lot of great paint schemes. Angel Ortega in car 55. Scored as the 12 car, but we'll get through that. And Bailey Dutton there in position 10. Scored as car 10, but you see the 26 there on Bailey's paint scheme. And how about Matthew Boniface out of the great state of Florida in car 95, 11th currently in practice. Only minute left here in practice, Emerson, and you can actually see that it is now labeled as practice there on the ticker. That's a nice addition that we made today, but the weather for this race, it's not a big deal, not really going to impact anything too crazily, but 82 degrees in the air, 66 on the track, and winds are gusty as they have been.
Absolutely. I think if anything, that kind of wind speed would affect more last night's cars, kind of just how small and light they were. With these big, heavy modifieds, even 10-mile-an-hour winds, that's not going to really do too much. The air temp, 81 degrees, so, pretty, I guess, decent here. The track them very cool, but on dirt, doesn't play too much of a factor.
Just 20 seconds left in practice. Let's ride on board with some of these guys as they roll back onto the track. Here's, well, it wasn't on board with Michael Hackett. He pulls off. How about Jeff Kemp then for an onboard in car 51? And these are really tough machines to wrangle. I think a lot of guys have gotten pretty good at it over the couple of years they've been on iRacing now, but they are not easy machines to handle at all. They've got a lot of power. They do have a lot of wheel, I will say, a lot of tire to help them control around the track, but they're still not easy to drive by any means, and they do take a pretty good setup that you can get from Elite Performance Industries at raceepi.com to be able to handle correctly, I'd say. As practice ticks over, we'll get right into qualifying. It looks like we have 11 cars. We might get a 12th before we go racing here in about 5.5, maybe 6 minutes or so, as qualifying opens up for 5 minutes on track. Yorker, the first car to load up, it looks like, but nobody making their way on track just yet. I think making some adjustments to their setups for qualifying fuel. Bailey Dutton, though, he'll be the first to head out.
And that's interesting. We heard yesterday, one of the drivers we interviewed, they didn't really make any changes from their race setup to qualifying, but that wasn't the midget. There's not a whole lot to change here. There's, I'm sure, a lot more options, a lot more to play with these big block modifieds. Dutton, first one to take to the start finish line there and start their first timed lap, and we ride on board. Look at that left front kick up.
Tripoding even on the back straightaway here in these big blocks. That's a real soft right rear Bailey Dutton has got as he will come to a stop and go back to the pit lane. How about Jeff Kemp, one of the drivers we saw last night in the Legends and Midgets? Love this paint scheme, by the way. The black and gold is nice, as it's going to be Chance Carr at the top of the board, then Angel Ortega quickly usurping him. So again, 11 cars, it looks like, connected. 11 drivers anyways. We do have our admin in the field, or Mario Urcolani, but he will not be racing, as here's Ortega back across the line to wrap up lap 2, and he will not go any faster, but does. Bennett there into the inside wall. Kemp rounds out his run. Matthew Boniface on a fast lap.
Boniface puts it fifth quickest that time across the line. That should improve.
I think he got the wall there coming to the line. I don't think he went any faster. Bailey Dutton, though, to the top of the board, finally gets on track, completes Bailey's run with a first-place qualifying effort. Here's Michael Hackett. Straight Jacket Hackett, as we used to call him with the BRPI Racing Series. Hackett getting a run-up at the first lap. Green flag for Hackett's run.
And Hackett was the early pace setter in practice, was quickly fought with the top of the charts with Jeff Kemp and a couple others. But Hackett here, waiting a little bit into qualifying to get out here, and here he comes to wrap up his first time lap of 2.
Rewheeling a bit more. That first lap is good for a 5th, and that is his entire run. He will not put up a third lap, or a second lap, rather. Here's Hauser on track. Dylan Hauser. Let's see what he can do. This is lap 1. John Valentine also on track. It's tracking purple currently. Now it drops down a little bit for Hauser, but out of turn 4. Maybe flirting with purple again at 16.639. Just a little ways off. It's actually 7th quick that first lap. Valentine has a crash and toes back to the pit lane. It looks like his run is done. Here's Hauser, though, through 3 and 4.
letting her rip up off the corner. Doesn't clip that wall. Hauser will keep it 7th quickest there. The time slower than what he ran the first time out. Here's Andrew Clark putting it in the wall. Go ahead and stop, reset. Still have a chance at his 2-time laps.
Still plenty of time for him to get these laps in as well, as Andrew Clark is another driver we've seen here before on Pit Stop TV. And Andrew will send it off into turns 3 and 4, it looks like this time, to get a run up again, trying to get right up to that outside wall and go down the track, make it as straight a run as possible to the start-finish line. And that's why this first lap might be the best for these guys, and they might just call it quits afterwards. But they get that first run. You can't really do that the second lap unless you try and throw away the first lap here in 3 and 4 once again. Through turn 3 and 4, though, for Andrew Clark to the start-finish line. It's a 16.572 thereabouts, and that is good for second. Just 1/100th off a pole.
Yeah, Clark was cooking there on that lap and will not run a second lap. As you said, Andrew, that first lap really, or whatever lap you can get the run up to the line, is going to be the lap you really look at. If you can nail that entry into turn 1, because the only downside to doing that run up to the line is you might have to alter your entry into turn 1 to counter for the extra speed.
Just 30 seconds left here in qualifying. Let's take a look at some upcoming broadcasts here on Pit Stop TV. Of course, it really is largely just EPI Speedweek stuff, as you can see on Thursday and Friday. And of course, we continue on Saturday and Sunday with modified and late model action. But look at that right in the middle, Emerson. If you're here for Elite Performance Industries, I invite you guys to stick with us here at Pit Stop TV tomorrow night, 8:30 Eastern. We're going to turn you on to some road racing, rather, with the North American Racing League GT3 cars that were just updated in yesterday's massive iRacing build. They're going to VIR, a track that is getting updated soon and is now free to all users. So if you have a GT3 car, or really any car, maybe you want to use the new Toyota GR86 Cup car, you can take a car out to VIR and test it out for yourself. And it is a tough road course, so if you're into seeing a driver's track, go ahead and watch that broadcast tomorrow night. We really hope you will do so. It'll be a lot of fun. That said, Emerson, we have cars on track, ready to go for tonight's big block race from Volusia. Getting ready, staging up on the grid, and let's go through our starting order. Starting first, it will be car 10, Bailey Dutton. Scored at least as car 10. Andrew Clark, though, will start from the second spot on the outside of row number 1. Starting third, it's Matt Yorker out of New York. Flip that number around. You got Angel Ortega starting from 4th, and starting 5th, you'll find Chance Carr. 6th is Straight Jacket Michael Hackett.
7th place will find V51 of Jeff Kemp. The 11, Dylan Hauser. He will start number 8, rounding out row number 4. Falling back to row number 5, we'll find the 22 of Marshall Jacobs, the 95 of Matthew Boniface, and rounding out the field this evening in row number 6 will be the 123 of John Valentine.
And while we see his name on screen there, big shout out to Mario Ercolani, our admin for this week's events, at least up to this point. I believe that's going to change. I think Tyler Payne might be taking it over, I'm not sure, but I heard that Mario was racing the rest of the week, so we'll see how the admin can do against these guys tomorrow night, Friday night, and we'll see on from there. The iRacing.com official pace truck waiting for the signal for all cars to be ready, and it looks like we're just kind of waiting on John Valentine towards the rear. I see 5 cars in each row currently, so we're waiting on the 123. And then we can get rolling. Weather conditions for this race, though, they've stayed just about the same. 82 degrees in the air thereabouts. Nothing really changing. Just a good night for racing.
Absolutely, and Volusia's been fantastic with last night's races. I'm expecting more of the same. We did see a little bit of craziness heading into turn number 1 on the initial start of the Legends race. Got that early caution. And then we had some wild moments in the midget race. So being that this car's kind of drive completely different than what we've got tonight, I'm still expecting some craziness, but we'll see just what it's like tonight. One of the bigger fields we've seen here for dirt racing this week.
It is the largest dirt field we've seen so far. I think that'll pick up a little bit, though, with the super late models Friday evening. And it sounds like we've already got around 20 trucks lined up for tomorrow's race at Five Flags. So if you're interested in getting in on the fun here for Elite Performance Industries Speed Week, time is running out. to enter that truck race tomorrow. I believe it's still $10 to enter. It could be more. Just head on over to @RaceEPI on Twitter or raceepi.com or Elite Performance Industries on Facebook or Instagram for more information on how to join this week's racing. Again, that truck race tomorrow, 100 laps. There is still plenty of time to enter to run in the eNASCAR trucks with EPI Speedweek at Five Flags Speedway. So all you need is an eNASCAR truck, Five Flags Speedway, and a few extra dollars, and you can join the fun tomorrow here on Pit.tv for Elite Performance Industries Speedweek. Now to turn number 3, we will say goodbye to the iRacing.com pace vehicle, and out of turn 4, we'll get this race kicked off finally from Volusia Speedway Park. A lone 40-lapper this evening, and Bailey Dutton sits on pole. Green flag is going to fly. The big blocks are racing at Volusia. On lap 1, it is Andrew Clark out front. Actually, I was about to say still Bailey Dutton, but Clark got the better of Bailey in 1 and 2 and keeps that race lead now on lap 2 into 3 and 4. The first battle is right back here, 6th place or so, with Hackett, Carr, and Hauser.
In lap 1, Chance Carr popped the inside wall, entering turn 1, forced Jeff Kemp behind to check up there. And since he's been able to hold on to that spot over Dylan Hauser, still going at it though, trying to get to the inside of Hackett here for the 5th position.
Chance Carr in the 2 car has the advantage right now over Hauser and Kemp, but not by much. This is the view from the back end of Carr's machine, looking at Dylan Hauser, and boy, is there some pressure right now for Chance Carr. A little bit of contact there to the 3rd corner.
Going at it, Hauser trying to get the power down to the inside, but it's so hard when you angle the carve down there, especially on corner exit, to keep the throttle down and not wash up into your competitor. On board of Hauser once again.
About 90 miles an hour there to turn 3. You can slow it down a little bit to around 70. Up and over into the triple digits, actually. Call that 112 into turn 1, so they are definitely moving as Hauser sits right on the back end here of Chance Carr, but up front things are getting tighter once again. Bailey Dutton's got some trouble behind Angel Ortega, Matt Yorker rather, as Michael Hackett still sits in 5th.
And Hackett, he's been under steady attack from the 2 of Chance Carr. He has not been able to focus up on the 21 of Yorker very much. He's having to kind of defend more of an attack. Carr with a run to the inside, but again, can't keep it glued down there. Kemp now has a deep dive to the inside of Hauser there.
Chance Carr back to the inside here, making a move on car number 8. That is Straight Jacket Michael Hackett. We've got some experience with that guy. Usually see him in Buffalo Bills colors. At least that's what we're used to. But I'm glad he's ditched those awful colors, at least. The wrong hue of red and blue. I like the Patriots colors a little better. Oh, I just saw the Bills logo on the back of the car. It's still there. Can you see it? The older Buffalo Bills logo? Oh, man. Here I thought Michael Hackett had changed. And I've just found out he has not.
Well, I was going to say, that still looks like the Buffalo Bills colors on that car. And, yeah, not a fan of those either, Andrew. We prefer not to see those.
Well, he's doing a good job for himself right now, P5, and I know that doesn't pay the big money of $60 out front, but it's still not a bad position, right? To show up at a field like this, it's kind of concentrated. It's not the big 30, 40 car run heats down to 20 to get your field, but it's still a good race. As Matthew Boniface, I don't know how he's ended up in this position, but is stopped in turn 1, and that draws our first caution of the night.
Unfortunate issues for Matthew Boniface. Yesterday had great starting positions in both races and quickly found himself working down to running order now tonight, bringing out the first caution of the evening.
Yeah, he's just kind of seemed off all day. Maybe he just doesn't have the setup quite right and was a little ways off the field, unfortunately, when this happens. And that is one heck of an onboard ride. Let's see it from the TV cams.
Again, with the open wheels on these dirt vehicles, it's so easy to make contact with anything that's not the traditional racing surface and then go up and over.
That is definitely one creative way to crash. Boniface wrapping up off of the wall there. And you know, when we had the BRPI Racing Series, we covered big block racing weekly just about, and we used to say that, you know, you can't see the rear end housing sticking straight through the car, but iRacing simulates it as the rear end housing sticking straight through the car. That's why he was kind of pogoing there in the rear, but he has gotten turned back over, it looks like, and is just good enough. It looks like the car is just fixed up enough to continue racing. It's still got some damage, and he has one lap down, but on lap 14, Emerson, so the first 12 or 13 laps of racing there, what'd you see? What'd you like?
Well, again, we saw the times very competitive in practice and qualifying, and that translated very well to the race. It looks like it's a little difficult to pass out there, but you like that. You like to see these drivers have to work for every spot out there on the track, and race control has announced all starts will be single file this evening.
Should simplify things rather nicely for these guys as they work through turns 1 and 2. I believe we have pace truck lights off, so that will allow us to get this race restarted here very, very shortly. Yes, pace truck lights have been extinguished. While you're out there waiting on this restart with 25 laps to go for the big blocks, let us know where you're watching from this evening to be who you're pulling for in this field of Andrew Clark, Billy Dutton, Angel Ortega, Matt Yorker, Michael Hackett, Chance Carr, Dylan Hauser, Jeff Kemp, Marshall Jacobs, and John Valentine. And let's not forget Matthew Boniface at the back of the field. Green flag is back out, rather. It's a tongue twister, apparently, just to get restarted for us, but there was a battle between 5th and 6th positions, Hackett and Carr, as they go down to turn number 3.
They race on. Hackett placing the car perfectly to not allow Chance Carr to get the right run to the inside. Kemp still working to the inside of Hauser, peeks up ahead for a brief moment there at the center of 1 and 2, but they stay side by side.
Meanwhile, look at this. Our leader's starting to go at it. Bailey Dutton has some grip on the inside of Andrew Clark and got down there and stayed side by side through 3 and 4. It's a valiant effort right now, but is there enough grip? I don't think so. There goes Clark back away on the top side.
So much easier when you're in the defending position to defend from that higher line on the racetrack. The car on the inside just can't put the throttle down the same way they would if there wasn't a car to their outside, and it produces that kind of racing there. Dutton feels like that he can get down to the inside, but Clark can just defend it.
A good view of everybody working through 3 and 4 here from the drone, and there you go, a side-by-side. Hauser gets on by the 2 of Carr and puts Carr in the fence. Big contact for the blue number 2 as he got into the wall there on the front straightaway. He now sorts in behind Marshall Jacobs, but Dylan Hauser will take over the 6th position, and he is moving up through this field. And I got to be honest, when I saw Dylan Hauser's name on the entry blank, I thought he'd be a lot further north than 6th position at halfway through this race as we complete lap 20, but he's worked his way up, slowly but surely.
Worked his way up and continue to work his way up. We'll see how he can tackle here. Michael Hackett, and a huge drive through the entry of 3 and 4. Can't get there. Trying to get to the inside of Hackett there. He tried.
Just ahead of those guys, you can see 3rd and 4th getting tight once more. That's Ortega and Yorker. I think that's the center of racing right now, is this battle for 3rd and 4th positions. Ortega's been good throughout the week, but this is easily his best run so far as he protects that 3rd spot from Matt Yorker. Yorker, though, going to take a look to the inside, point it down low.
Yorker trying to complete the slider up off the corner, not clear, and I'd have to agree, Andrew. Ortega looks very comfortable here in the big blocks.
Nearly a good attempt there for Yorker once again. He's going to give it one more shot down in 3 and 4, and on board here with Matt Yorker out of the state of New York, the Empire State. And he had the position at the line, Emerson, by a nose, but that's not going to cut it just yet. Now a slide job in turn 1. Gets him clear, but here comes the crossover from Ortega. A slide job again.
This time Ortega keeps it planted down the bottom side. Here comes Yorker for a run to the outside. Going to try to get down there, but Ortega holding station on the inside. Beautifully placing that number 55 machine.
Ortega protecting in that orange 55 for 3rd spot on a caution is going to come out in the back. We've got problems between Hauser and Jacobs. I'd noticed some of these guys were swapping spots, actually. John Valentine and Dylan Hauser most notably at first, and it kind of compounds from there. So we'll go back and see what happens between all these drivers towards the midfield. And for Dylan Hauser, he was racing here with Jeff Kemp, actually, in the 51 car. Let's see, into turn 3. A little bit of contact there from Kemp. That sends the 2 car around, and they kind of stack up, and there's nowhere for the 22 to go.
And you see there, Hauser, as soon as he got spun around, he tried to tow out of the way, but just not in time there to avoid contact there from the 22 of Marshall Jacobs.
Let's get the onboard here from Jeff Kemp. This is the lap prior. And watch here into turn 3. He had a pretty good run through 2, but it opens back up. The gap does anyways. This actually might have been another lap prior, so we really get to see things build up for Jeff Kemp, but just that little bit of contact, it does not take much sometimes, Emerson. It just, sometimes, the slightest bit of contact will wreck somebody.
Right, and I think Kemp, his eyes widened there in the 1 and 2 and wanted to get another go at it there, just made slight contact, and I wouldn't say that was intentional by any means, just was trying to get the positioning down there, and before he turned into the corner, just made contact.
And that actually showed a bit of a different perspective as well, to where Hauser got way up the track and came back down across Kemp's nose, I think. Just a little bit. I think there was kind of equal parts into that crash, but glad that this is still a sim, right? Nobody gets hurt out of anything, because that was actually a pretty big contact between Jacobs and Hauser. Hauser, though, has called it a night, and will restart this race with 11 laps to go and 10 cars left in the field, with Hauser the 11th position out of this race. Boniface still 1 lap down. And it looks like we should get the green flag this time. We will. Green flag back out here from Volusia. 11 to go. Bailey Dutton still hunting that 20 car. Not close enough yet. 10 laps to go.
The racing has been great this evening. Dutton has been sizing up Clark all night long. Only had a couple looks down to the inside, and here we go. This is Chance Carr trying to work his way back through the field here to the inside of Michael Hackett. Hackett gets a run on the outside.
No pass made yet here, but he's definitely trying, digging down low in that 2 car. 9 to go that last time by. It'll be 8 to go this time, as Yorker also working on Ortega. This is a great battle, and Yorker just might have it. He almost had him cleared that time at the line. Gonna make another attempt down here in 1 and 2. Working that bottom side is car 21, and Matt Yorker into turn 3. He's got him clear.
Yeah, Ortega tried to power down on corner exit, but could not keep alongside the 21. And now Yorker has his sights set on Dutton and Clark up ahead. How about this battle directly behind? This is Hackett and John Valentine.
Yeah, Carr made easy work of the 8 car, and now Hackett just starting to slowly slide back as his teammate leads out front. And up in front of the 8 car goes John Valentine, completing that pass. Up front, we're starting to get tight for the top 3. Clark, Dutton, and Yorker.
And Clark again has defended beautifully, has held station up front beautifully, but now he's going to start facing some of his toughest competition yet. Time is running out. The track is changing. Can Clark keep up with everything and hold him off? Yorker trying to get through Dutton first.
4 laps to go this time by. It's a square side-by-side battle for second. Yorker to the inside. That is Dutton defending up top. They stay just about equal down the back straightaway into turn 3. The 2 lines here of Volusia very, very even, but you can gain some time down low if you can keep the throttle rather disciplined. At that time, Yorker does exactly that. 3 to go.
Yorker nearly cleared there up out of turn 4 last time by. Very close, near contact.
He's got him here.
Dutton and Yorker, and that's going to allow Yorker to clear to second. Maybe. He does. And now he's firmly in second.
Maybe not. Here comes Dutton back on the outside. Clark, though, loving what he's seeing behind him. Side by side, still for second, and maybe Yorker gets him this time, but it's the white flag presented by Whiplash Sim Cams here at Volusia for Andrew Clark, as it's still a side-by-side battle for second. Do we see a big send this time out of Yorker? I don't think so. To turn 3, Yorker's finally going to have second, but Andrew Clark is going to drive to victory this evening, and $60 in his pocket.
Fantastic stuff there by Andrew Clark. He sent it himself. deep into turn 3 to cover off any attempt from Yorker to try to get down to his inside. It worked out beautifully, $60 richer. Congratulations, Andrew Clark, and celebrating rightfully so here, coming around to the front straightaway.
A perfect race as well. Led all 40 laps this evening. I think that might be the first time we've seen that. Usually we've seen 1 or 2 laps at least go somebody else's way. I could be wrong, but I want to say that's the first time we've seen that this week. Andrew Clark dominating entirely here at Volusia in the big blocks. Let's go ahead and check out our unofficial race results. Emerson, Andrew Clark out front, all 40 laps led, started second, got that jump on lap 1, and that's all it took.
Absolutely, Andrew Clark did everything right. Matt Yorker put on a powerful charge there at the end, but could not get clear by Bailey Dutton in time to have a go at Andrew Clark seriously. And Angel Ortega finishes there 4th. Chance Carr has a nice little recovery after the earlier mishap, finishes out in 5th position. John Valentine over the 8 of Michael Hackett there, who falls back to 7th. Marshall Jacobs 8th, Jeff Kemp 9th, and Matthew Boniface will round out the top 10.
And finishing in the final position this evening is Dylan Hauser there in car 11, finishes 11th spot, 15 laps down. Mario Ercolani, our admin, thanks to you for doing what you've done so far this week and helping us out here for Elite Performance Industries Speedweek. Andrew Clark wraps up a great day of racing, a quick night of racing for sure, and a quick $60 for himself. And Andrew, you dominate out front. How do you keep things under control, just like you did smooth operator for sure for 40 laps straight?
It's just practice. I mean, laps on the sim. I had a bunch of my teammates in here between Matt Yorker, now coming on the EPI, John Valentine, Michael Hackett, Jeff Kemp, Marshall Jacobs. We've been putting in a lot of laps and to come out here and do this and do it for Tyler, and everything he's done for me, and I can't thank him enough for everything he's done for me and believed in me and building these big block setups.
And along with the win and the bragging rights tonight and helping Tyler out, you get $60. That's got to feel pretty good, especially when Lincoln Speedway dropped on the sim yesterday. Have you tried any laps at Lincoln yet? How is it with this big block?
It's actually pretty fun. I mean, it's a lot different. I was watching some YouTube videos to see, kind of how the track raced and how it kind of panned out, but it's totally different in the big blocks because you don't see big blocks go to Lincoln. You see, you mainly see sprint cars and late models go there. So it was kind of it's definitely a track that's going to be real racy here. Done quite a few laps there, yesterday and today. So I think it's going to be fun, and I can't wait to go there, here in a few weeks for the big block officials.
And Andrew, I know that for you dirt guys, there isn't a ton left in this week of racing, but we do still have late models on Friday. Is that something you're dipping your hand into?
I might consider it. I know I gotta go out there and show Keith Hackney, who's a real man over there in late models. Me and him got a little battle going, so I might have to go over there and try it out and try to give Keith a run for his money.
Well, hopefully we'll see you on Friday night. Best of luck then. Congratulations, though, tonight. All 40 laps led. That's a serious accomplishment, buddy. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
Andrew Clark, I like the initials, AC. I like that one as he wraps up a win tonight here from Volusia. But Emerson, Matt Yorker, his teammate, apparently goes second.
Yeah, and Matt Yorker, he had a great run tonight, but looked like he only got stronger as the race went on. Matt, tell us about how the track evolved and how you were over the course of the 40 laps.
Yeah, there really. I just kind of felt like my right rear was dragging around the top side of 3 and 4 there. That's why I kind of started moving the bottom, see if I can make it stick better, and it did. I learned that with Angel. I was able to pass him there, and he got me back, unfortunately, when I slid him, and that restart helped a lot. Just got underneath him, ran underneath him past him. The same thing to Bailey, and I don't know, 10 more laps there. I was hoping maybe something for Andrew, but just ran out of time.
Well, that was going to be my next question. Did you think you had anything for Andrew? Was there any way you can maybe try to get yourself clear of Dutton any sooner? What was kind of going through your mind?
The goal was just to clear Dutton, get second. If we could get to Andrew, I would have considered that incredibly lucky. I mean, 10 more laps, I feel like we could have raced with him. I don't know if I would have beat him or not, but it was a good race.
Absolutely. It looked like a fantastic race. Congratulations on the second place finish this evening. Do we plan on seeing you in any other events this week?
I'm not sure what events are left for the week. Is there pros and supers are still happening late in the week, right?
I believe supers are happening later in the week.
Yeah,
later-
pros and supers on Friday night. We got trucks tomorrow for 100 laps at Five Flags, and then SK mods, tour mods at Five Flags on Saturday, late model stocks and super late models at Five Flags on Sunday.
Yeah, maybe all the pros and supers, I'll give those a dabble.
Well, there you go. Congratulations on your second place finish tonight, Matt, and the best luck to you if you decide to join us then.
Yeah, thank you.
And finishing up in the third position behind Matt Yorker is me. He goes by the name of B Diddy 22 in Discord. I like that one, but Bailey Dutton with a solid third place effort this evening. And Bailey, I know you got beat there just at the end by Matt Yorker, but what was it like following Andrew Clark for all those laps, just trying to get by him?
Man, it was kind of just one lane, draft heavy, so I was trying to just be patient and buy my time and hope for a mistake at some point, or wait for the track to blow off and give us some more lanes.
Of course, Fallujah is racy, but that doesn't always mean that it has more than one viable lane at every moment in its progression. What were you looking for in the way the track evolved? Were you trying to push the cushion up any? Were you trying to run the slick in a little further down low? What were you trying to do, at least from your car?
I feel like I do better when it comes to the little slider line, so I was trying to buy some time until it got there, and then, of course, when it got there, Andrew took it, and again, it's super hard to pass when they're running a dominant lane, especially the slider. So I was kind of just trying to play my options, see where I was better, and then by that time, Matt snuck in there, and then I was kind of stuck on the outside. So.
Well, and it's not big block mods. We still have more dirt racing later in the week. Do we see you in the pro and super late models on Friday?
It's likely. It's very likely.
Well, we hope to see you there then. We hopefully you put it in the top three in at least one, if not both of those races. Hopefully we're talking to you then. Congratulations, though. A solid effort here, especially with that pole run. So you certainly have got the speed. We'll see you on Friday.
Yeah, man.
Bailey Dutton, nice and quick. And you know what? I actually really look forward to seeing Bailey get a do-over, maybe, here at Volusia in whether it's the pro or the supers on Friday night, Emerson. Consider he went on pole. It's not usual you see a pole winner not lead a lap. But if he can get a do-over and sit on pole again later in the week, I think that would be nice to see.
Absolutely. I don't think, Dutton really did anything wrong. I think just Clark just really had it going tonight, especially in the first half. And then, once he got up there, it was hard to beat him. But Dutton certainly had the speed there early, of course, on the one lap pace and early in the race. Just took a minute for the other cars to kind of kick in.
Well, that's it for racing this evening. I know initially there were 410s advertised, but unfortunately that race is not going to take place. But what that means is if you hear that, you hear the unfortunately part, well, go ahead, register now for the rest of the races this week. Do not hesitate, because if you wait to the last minute, we might not have a last minute, right? So you've got to get out there registered now. I know going into this race, we had at least around 20 trucks registered, and that number is going up. Register for tomorrow's race, trucks at Five Flags Speedway, 100 laps. That's going to be a doozy for Five Flags tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. Friday, we've got 40-lap features once again for pro and super late model action. Let's bring up this graphic actually once more and talk more about it. And then Saturday, we've got, I believe it's a 40-lap SK modified race, a 75-lap tour mod race, and then on Sunday, we're running 75 laps for late model stocks and 100 again for super late models, all from Five Flags Speedway. And of course, well, you see Friday we're running late models right back here at Volusia. So a lot of action left to come in the week, Emerson. And a reminder, tomorrow's race, trucks at Five Flags, does start a half hour earlier than these races have been so far. That is at 6:30 Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night. That is 3:30 on the West Coast. That, you can kind of extrapolate from there. We're going to have some good racing, though. A lot of great racing left to go.
Absolutely. I'm so excited to see how the trucks will perform tomorrow night at Five Flags Speedway. Again, I think it's an undervalued track on the service. I know obviously the Derby is there, but Five Flags with the trucks is going to be fantastic. Can't wait to see it. And then with the doubleheader tomorrow, VAR with the North American Race League. I mean, we saw how crazy it was at Road America. I can only imagine that's going to continue on tomorrow as well. But of course, you can follow along with all of the broadcasts and updates we have here on our social media platforms at facebook.com/pitstoptv, our Instagram at pit_stop_TV, our Twitter at pitstoptv_. We are live on Twitch this evening at twitch.tv/pit_stop_TV, and our YouTube channel, of course, at youtube.com/c/pitstoptv1.
And a reminder, of course, to follow along, not just with Pit Stop TV, but our partners as well. The big shout out to our partners here this evening: Whiplash Media, SimCams, SimRatMarket.com, and Permanent Makeup in Cryo in Maine. And go ahead and give a visit to RaceEPI.com. Check out everything that Elite Performance Industries has to offer before the week is out. And of course, get yourself a head start on 2023 Season 1 iRacers. This is your chance. This is your call to action. If you need to pick up speed, and I'm sure a lot of you guys do, no offense, but if you need to pick up speed, go ahead and check out RaceEPI.com. They have got setups for just about any kind of racer. Oval, dirt, I believe they've got road setups in at least 3 classes. I could be mistaken, but if I recall correctly, it's Porsche, Cup, Miatas, and maybe one other. And who knows, maybe they're going to add some more here soon. And if you show your support for RaceEPI.com and Elite Performance Industries, I'm sure they will add more. So again, check out RaceEPI.com, check out Elite Performance Industries on Facebook and Instagram, at RaceEPI on Twitter, and show them your support for this week of racing. That will do it for us this evening from Volusia Speedway Park, though. Thanks so much for joining myself and Emerson Arden. It was a lot of fun. We've got 5 flags coming up tomorrow. Trucks at 6:30 Eastern for 100 laps. We'll see you there.